This is a test-driven development in C video with Eclipse and CUT. Let's start by retrieving the CUT software from SourceForge, which is done by simply Googling CUT unit tests and then retrieving the package. It's a small zip file. Okay, here we go. Open, extract the whole folder in some place where you can find it. I'll create a CUT video folder for this. Extracting, and I'm going to view the files with a browser. There are some files that I can straight away remove. README license, away they go. And then there's the test directory that includes 4 subdirectories, each with some samples. So we can remove some of them. And then we will cannibalize one, the old pass one. We're interested in the make file and the C code in there, which we're going to copy in the folder, top level folder. Of course, there is already a make file there, so I need to rename the other make file to make sure that I'm not overwriting it. Okay, so here we go. Now we can get rid of the test folder altogether, so we have all the files that we need in one place. And we're going to start Eclipse. Just a minute to load. Okay, so here creating a new workspace for Eclipse. Okay, to go. Here we have it. Okay, so what we're going to do is to create a new project. As you can see, the workspace is completely empty. New project. Of course, the Java stuff, etc. But we're looking for the C++. In this version of Eclipse, I've already installed the necessary plugins. And in particular, the makefile project with existing code is the one we're looking for, because we want to import the code from CUT and adapt it. So we're going to create a URL parser, a software that divides up a URL into its components, the protocols, etc. Okay, here we have finally we've got the top level directory to import the code. And because this is under Linux, we will use the tool chain Linux GCC. We'll probably use Cygwin under Windows. Here are the files, all nicely imported. We've got 2 make files. Obviously, we need to create just one, and so we'll need to copy files. But let's have a look at the C code. Here you see the bring gap cut command and the take down command. We're not going to use them, but let's keep them in there just in case. They're useful later. So at the moment they're empty. We don't need to set up the stage or anything. We have 1 test left in there, but for the moment I'm concerned more about compiling the whole package, and then we'll start adapting it to the URL parser that we want to build. Okay, small renaming here. URL parser.c. We're going to put tests and code in the same file, but you normally would have 2 separate files and maybe include .h file. Okay, so let's get to the make files. The first make file is to compile the command catgen, which is then used to generate the tests or executable code from our tests. So I'm renaming it catgen so that we have a simpler target, simpler make file, because then I'm going to take the stuff from the makefile subfolder and copy it straight into the other. Here we go. we will have two targets clean, so we need to turn it into just one with that name. I add the cut gen at the bottom there, at the list, and okay, we're in business. Of course, we have renamed. There you go. So we need to replace. We have renamed cut pass with URL parser.c. So we need to replace all occurrences of cut pass with URL parser, which is done, I believe. I'm going to adapt slightly the make file now. But then, let's start by building the project, the whole project. Build all. Okay, I get an error message because I have not defined the target all. So let's say the all, and let's just need to run the tests, which are run by the target check. In fact, what check does, it compiles the C code into an executable in a way that will execute the test, and then it runs that executable. So build again. Okay, now we are running the target, but we have an error that cut gen has not been found. Maybe we need to tell it that it needs to find it right there in that folder. Let's try to build again. Still, we have a problem. It's not compiled. Maybe it didn't compile cut gen actually. Let's make well, let's remove this one because we don't need it anymore. There we go. Okay. Now I think we need to make sure that cut gen is created. So we can just add it as a target there. It should do it. Let's see. Oops, no, wrong. Build project. Okay, so something is happening, but we get a segmentation fault. Oh, I see cut gen is trying to compile or parse the wrong file. Okay, so now finally we have remove all occurrences of cut pass. Let's try to build again. We have another silly error. Let's have a look. Okay, so hopefully this will do it. Okay. Just to be sure, let's add cut gen there as well. Okay, build again. Okay, so we're past one test. Again, try again. It's the original test that wasn't cut pass in the test example. Here it is. Now we're in a position to start working. So start with the URL parser. What would the URL parser need to do? Well, it would need to parse a standard protocol, rather a standard Parsing HTTP protocol. Okay, so let's remove this old stuff. I need to now invoke my first function from the library that I need to build. Notice I haven't built it yet. So the result is URL parse protocol of some URL, say HTTP www.6ac.uk. Okay, now let's adapt the assert. I'm going to use assert equals. So the result should be HTTP. But I suspect this will not work because I'm just using the equal, which will compare pointers. I'm not sure whether there will be the same pointer or not. So this shouldn't work really, but let's give it a try. Actually, the compiler might store same strings in same places, so might pass. Okay. Oh, assert equals requires 3 arguments. No, the equals sign. Here we go. So that should make it happy. Let's build using the icon there. Oh, well, of course, it complains that URL parse protocol doesn't exist. No doubt. Here it is. So we need to, of course, we need to create this first function. That's how test-driven development should proceed. First decide how you invoke something, create the test for it for the first invocation, and then put in the function or method that passes the test. Let's see if we can do it. URL parse protocol. URL. Okay. So we use a trick here. We know that it's going to be invoked with an HTTP protocol most of the time, so let's just return HTTP. Let's see if the test passes now. Yeah, we're green, so to speak. We're passing the test. Okay. Let's have a quick look at any issues in the build. Okay, but I know that sooner or later I'll be beaten by the fact that I'm comparing pointers. I want to compare strings. So here is string compare. String compare will return 0 if the strings are the same, so I need to, yeah, there. Equate it to 0 to get true as a result. Okay, this should work. Yep. Let's try this. I've now refactored effectively a test, which was needed, and surely in the future I would have needed that. Okay, small change. But look, I mean, there was a problem there because I was passing a character array, or a character. I use in the single quotes instead of double quotes. It would compile and it would satisfy the test because it would return HTTP in all cases, but it wouldn't have worked. Had we not noticed that, sooner or later we would have had to fix the test. Okay, so let's cut and paste the same, but now we want to try with an FTP protocol. Oh no, sorry, actually first let's start with a website without HTTP, so where the protocol is implicit. Refactoring a little bit, removing a little bit of junk, compile, that passes. Okay, so even if we don't have an HTTP, of course, because I'm returning HTTP, but now it's the time to test with a different protocol, and that will force us to make changes to improve the actual code. Of course, I knew that the code is a hack, but I want to get there in small steps. Okay. Oops. Okay, another typo. And FTP. Okay, so we're ready to build again. Okay, parse FTP protocol now fails. The reason being, of course, that I need to implement URL parse protocol better. Okay, so let's have a look at this function. I'm going to use a simple trick again that will work only in a small number of cases, but I need to do it in small steps. So I'm checking just the beginning of the URL to see if it's an H. If it's an H, I will return HTTP. If it's otherwise, I'll return FTP. That will be just enough code to pass the test again. Okay, there we go. Okay, ready to continue. So we look at the result. Now we're not satisfying one test, which is the one that has an implicit protocol, HTTP protocol. So that will require a little bit of work. Let's go and modify the URL parse protocol function. But let's try to be minimalist again. I want a function. I need to use a string function that will identify the position of the slash, the column double slash in the URL. So here you're doing it. I'm invoking a function that will tell me what position that has in a string. And then, of course, if the position is empty, is null, then there wasn't the string, in which case I can safely assume it's HTTP protocol. Same must be true if the URL starts with an H. Again, it's a hack, but I'm going to remove it later. I'm just making small steps. The only thing here is that, yes, I mean, the string pblock function is not defined. I need to fix this. First, I need to include the string H, include the file. Let's try again. No, so maybe actually I'm misremembering that function. Probably need to use the string string function. Finds a substring. Yeah, it finds a substring in a string. Okay, build. Yes. Okay. Three tests are now satisfied. That's good. Can be a bit more ambitious now. Okay, so suppose it was even a stranger protocol that I've just invented, it WSXOW, then parse protocol should return that protocol. Now, of course, we will fail that test because we have hacked the URL parse function to just return either FTP or HTTP. So really now we need to just return HTTP if there's an empty protocol, and then if otherwise we need to return the substring containing that protocol. So I'm going to invent a function called string between that will return a fully formed string, zero terminated string, between the beginning, the pointer URL, and the pointer position in the same string. So at the moment that doesn't exist, of course. I could just compile and see where the error message, but here it is. string between is not defined. So let's go and define it. Okay, string between start character pointer and an end character pointer. Okay, so first thing to do is allocate space for the new string, really. So I'm going to invoke malloc. Okay, now the length of the string that I need is the difference between the two pointers plus 1, because it's going to be a 0 terminated string. Okay, so that's done. Now we need to copy. I'm going to use string copy to copy from the start into the copy. Okay, and then the number of characters and the size of the copy. Okay. All right. And let's put at the end. Remember, these are arrays starting with an index of 0. So at start, end minus start, I've got. I need to terminate with a 0. Then I can happily return. Of course, this would create a memory leak that we don't like, but it's just for now. Let's get it to run. Oh, string copy, too many arguments. I will, yes, because string copy copies 0 terminated strings. So no, that's not. I'm going to use mem copy. Okay. Right. Yep. All tests are green again. That's good. So we've done enough about protocols. Now we want to dig out websites from URL. Let's define a test. Cut parse simple website. Okay, and I'll have a result again of the call. Okay, so I'm going to invoke URL parse site with the website of the University of Essex again. This time I'm going to expect, actually, let me copy this, a bit less typing. Okay, so the result now is not protocol but www.essex.ac.uk. A bit of room around that. Okay, so that's what I'm expecting. I could save and compile, build. Okay, of course, URL parse site is not defined as a function, so I need to put that in. Here we go. Of course, as before, I could just return www.essex.uk to start with. But since we've already seen this, I can more or less copy the code from URL parse protocol and adjust it. Skip one step. naturally now I'm not looking for column // or actually I am looking for column // if I don't find it, then I can just return the URL because it represents the website. If I do find it, then I need to skip 3 characters, and then, oh, let me think. I can simply skip 3 characters and return a pointer that points to the beginning of the website. Of course, if there was a path, then there would be a problem, but I'm writing enough code to pass the test, which I'm doing here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so everything looks green. Let's try a bit more with okay, cut and paste, or copy and paste rather. Okay, so as before, we're going to test without a protocol and see whether we get the correct website. So, very simple change. Build, still green. And let's keep going. A bit more challenging now. With path. Okay, so let's make up a path. CS, computer science and electronic engineering stuff. And it should still return just a site. Okay, build. Everything's still green, but there's something odd. It's not executing my test, so okay, maybe a typo. I maybe forgot to use double underscores. Build again. And all those tests. So, oh no. Oh, not there. The double underscore needs to go in there. Okay, so now the CUT gen will recognize that these are tests and will execute them. Okay, so now we're executing 6 tests, not yeah, the number of dots there at the bottom represents the number of tests executed. But we do have a failing test because, of course, we don't consider that the sites can be followed by path names, path. Okay, so we need to get the site from a URL, even if it's empty, even if the protocol is empty, rather. Here we go. So we'll define a function getSite, does the job, and the same is true here because we've now skipped the protocol and the slashes, so we can apply getSite and return just the site, not the site plus the path. Okay, so let's adapt the code as usual, copy and paste. It's going to be getSite. Okay, now I'm looking for a slash, single slash, and okay, so what do I need to do? If I don't find it, then I can think, so if I don't find it, I can just return the URL, right? Okay, otherwise, I need to do a copy. Yep, here we go, copy the copy. Alright, so on there, as I said, just return URL because it's a URL without a slash, so no path, and otherwise just return the URL. Okay, so we've got 6 passing tests again. Of course, the job is not finished, but it's easy enough now to understand how to continue the exercise. Thank you for watching.